your growing up years, you often heard about the seven deadly sins. Now, at that point in time, since you heard so many elders talk about it, you probably thought they were just outdated religious concepts. But what if I told you that these sins are not only relevant in today's day and age, but they also subtly influence our daily thoughts, our habits, and our decisions? Understanding how they show up in modern life can actually help us break free from patterns that hold us back. Hi, welcome to another episode of the Flight to Fulfillment podcast. I'm your host Ratika Seth, and today we are diving into a timeless yet incredibly relevant topic, the seven deadly sins and how they affect our daily life. Now, these are not just ancient moral lessons, so to say, they are patterns of behavior, and these are thoughts that can actually influence how we interact with ourselves, how we interact with others, and how we interact with the world around us. So, in this episode, I will actually break down each of the seven deadly sins for you and show you how they subtly show up in your daily life and share some actionable steps that you can take to overcome them. So, if you've, ever wondered how these timeless concepts apply to modern life, then this episode is for you. Let's decode these seven deadly sins together and learn how to live more consciously and intentionally. So let's dive straight in. Sin number one, pride. Now, what is pride? Pride is often seen as excessive self-importance or arrogance, right? And how does it show up? Well, pride shows up when you start comparing yourself to others, when you refuse to either ask for help or take suggestions. You actually start dismissing, all the suggestions and opinions that people are giving you. That is pride. The effect of pride is that it isolates you. It strains your relationships because people start finding you very arrogant. It, prevents you from growing personally because you are so closed to things. You are all about yourself. You are not even taking opinions. You are not even listening to people carefully. So your personal growth just stops. A solution for this is that you should learn how to practice humility. Acknowledge your strengths. Of course, we all should acknowledge our strengths. But at the same time, be open to learning from others. If somebody else is teaching you something, learn. If there's something you don't know, humbly accept you don't know and learn from others. Sin number two, greed. Now, what is greed? Greed is an insatiable desire for more and more and more and more. It can be more money, more power, more possession, anything, but you are just not satisfied with what you have. And this is how greed shows up. You are just, overworking for material gains. You are prioritizing wealth over relationships. And you are just not, satisfied with what you have. You're not grateful for what you have. You just are concentrating on how you can get more, how you can get more, how you can get more. And then you stoop to different levels to get the more and more and more. So the effect of this is that greed can actually lead to burnout because you're constantly just working beyond your capacity. You're unhappy. Obviously, you're never satisfied, so you're unhappy. And you start neglecting what truly matters. So the solution for this is that, and this applies to all of us, we all should learn how to cultivate gratitude. We should start focusing on appreciating what we have in our life rather than constantly concentrating on what we need more. We should stop chasing for more, at least until we start appreciating what we actually have. Sin number three, lust. Now, lust is something which goes beyond physical desire. It is about craving for things to fill an emotional void within you. So how does lust show up? Now, you are obsessively pursuing things like status, physical perfection, fleeting pleasures. And then, what happens is that it leads to shallow connections. It leads to you being dissatisfied. And it also, creates a loss of self respect because you're only pursuing all the superficial things. Now, the solution for this is that you need to seek deeper connections. You need to focus on more meaningful relationship, not those surface level friendships. And you need to align your actions with your values. Sin number 4, envy. Now, envy, as we all know, is the pain of wanting what others have, correct? And how does this show up? Well, you start comparing your life to others, and in today's day and age, because of social media, I mean, everybody's life seems to be just in front of us, but we seldom realize that that is not the true picture that we are seeing. And we start resenting somebody else's success. We start feeling inadequate. But the truth is that, even if a person is successful, the person has also gone through his or her own journey. So we should, learn the journey first before we just jump to a conclusion and then we have these jealousy pangs. So the effect of envy is that it fuels self-doubt because we're always seeing somebody else successful and we feel, oh my God, I mean, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get this, what the other person have? It damages your relationships and it just steals your inner peace, your joy. So the solution for this is that we must all learn to celebrate each other's success. As I said, everybody goes through a journey. Even the most successful person has gone through highs and lows and has a journey, has a story to tell. So understand the journey first. Hear that story first before you jump to any conclusion. Practice self-acceptance and focus on your unique journey. We all have our unique paths. Your journey is unique to you. Even you have gone through ups and downs. Even you have achieved. You've also come out of those, situations. You've faced your failures also. So instead of doubting yourself and just feeling jealous, seeing somebody else, start focusing on your unique journey. Sin number 5, gluttony. Now, gluttony is not only about food. It is actually overindulging in everything. Literally anything and everything. How it shows up? Okay, food, we start overeating. We start binge watching. We start overconsumption on social media. So, all the time we're just overdoing things. And even as far as spending is concerned, we are overspending. So, literally everything what we do is actually, overdoing it. So the effect is that it leads to health issues, it leads to time being wasted, and it leads to a sense of imbalance. So the best way to come out of gluttony is to embrace moderation. Gluttony is just going overboard. It's one extreme. So we should learn how to embrace moderation. We should set boundaries for ourselves. We should make conscious choices about how much of something we are going to consume. So many of us are so addicted to, say, Instagram reels that we just go on scrolling different posts, different reels for hours and hours and hours and hours. Can you imagine the amount of time we've wasted? What's something which, yes, is of interest to you, but what's something which is also helping you grow? And if you're just watching something for pure entertainment, then set a time limit for it. Just don't go on and on and on. Don't get addicted to it. So don't overdo anything. Overdoing anything means you're just becoming a slave of that particular thing. You're getting addicted to that particular thing. Sin number 6, wrath. Now, wrath is uncontrolled anger or resentment. How does it show up? Well, you start lashing out, you start holding grudges, and you're constantly irritated. Constantly irritated. The effect is that it damages your relationships because nobody wants to spend time with someone who's perpetually irritated. It clouds your judgment. It harms your mental health. So the best way to overcome wrath is to practice forgiveness. And when I talk about forgiveness, I always say this. Practicing forgiveness is not only about forgiving people, it is also about forgiving yourself. Use different mindfulness techniques that can calm you down. Do your breathing exercises. Do anything and everything that brings you back to the present moment. Do your reframing exercises. Come back to the present moment. And finally, sin number 7, sloth. Sloth is avoidance of effort. Okay, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional effort. You just avoid, making that effort. And how does it show up? Well, you start procrastinating. You don't have any ambition. You ignore responsibilities because you just don't want to do anything. You just don't want to do anything. So you just ignore all your responsibilities. Now, the effect of sloth is that it leads to missed opportunities because you're just not getting out of your comfort zone. So you just miss out on all the opportunities coming your way. And when you miss out on all the opportunities coming your way, when you just don't step out of your comfort zone, when you just don't make any effort to do anything, you become stagnant. It leads to stagnation. And when you become stagnant, you start lacking fulfillment. So it's like, it's like one trigger after the other. You miss opportunities, it leads to stagnation. Stagnation leads to lack of fulfillment. All because of you avoiding any kind of effort. So the solution to this is learn to take small, consistent actions. Always set a goal, but you break down that goal into small, measurable, doable tasks, which you can accomplish one by one, step by step. Because as you do this, you keep building the momentum. And as the momentum is built, you start staying motivated. And when you start staying motivated, you start making that effort again and again and again. So, these were the 7 sins, the effects of the 7 sins, and how you can overcome the effects of the 7 sins. So thank you for joining me today on this insightful episode of Flight to Fulfillment. I hope you found it insightful. The 7 deadly sins are not just moral concepts. They actually are patterns that can subtly shape our daily lives. By recognizing them, we can make conscious choices to live with more balance, more joy, more fulfillment, more authenticity. So let's quickly recap the 7 sins and the solutions. Sin number 1, pride. Solution, practice humility. Sin number 2, greed. Solution, cultivate gratitude. Sin number 3, lust. Solution, seek deeper connections. Sin number 4, envy. Solution, celebrate others' success. Sin number 5, gluttony. Solution, embrace moderation. Sin number 6, wrath. Solution, practice forgiveness. Sin number 7, sloth. Solution, take small, consistent actions. So if today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear which sin you are working upon and what are you trying to overcome, and how these tips are helping you do the same. So write into me, like, subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with anybody who would, who might get help from this. So till the next podcast, this is me, Ratika Seth, your life enhancement coach, reminding you that self-awareness is the first step towards personal growth. So keep growing, and I'll see you in my next podcast. Bye-bye.